that's over. They've got, I mean, look, Feliz, this is going to be, you know, we sometimes use the biblical analogy of David and Goliath in esports to talk about matchups like this that seem to be tiered one-sided. This is, I mean, no one predicts this to be close. You know, you have to go into a match like this as Feliz, wondering what can we learn, what can we practice, what can we try.
What's in the plastic bag?
Something from Mini Stop, probably the water that he's drinking right now. And maybe he wanted to get his receipt out or something. Wanted to check it really quick because he knows Aimer owes him about $2. He wanted to keep a record of that. I don't know. He's getting out of the bag. But this team is coming into the night as massive underdogs. Dudu with a massive hero pool this season, but still not as big as Rich, for example, who's at 28 to his 22 versus last season. Of course, both of them only have 5 in part 2. But I did mention, and I'll say it one more time, this is the best Heroes of the Storm squad there may ever be. Like, no one will ever come close to the dominance we saw here. Even MVP Black's spring run was in a different meta and a different time where, like, Edward Gaming was going to the finals. What a different world we live in now. What a more competitive Heroes of the Storm we live in now. And only Dignitas can touch them. No one can touch them. And this is just, you know, the thing that a lot of players said when we were at Midseason Brawl, we could sit in front of the teams while they were playing and listen to their shot calling. The thing that everyone said about Gen.G that was terrifying was they mostly didn't communicate that much because they're so well coordinated already, but they were always laughing. Like, they were always almost maniacally laughing as they defeated their opponents, no matter what region they were from, no matter what skill level they were. Gen.G is a team that, if anyone's going to do it, it's not going to be Feliz, is what they're saying. If they were able to take a map, people will lose their minds, okay?
Yeah, going back in history, it's like Raven versus Gen.G right now, basically.
It's like even more than that, because back then with MVP Black, like, they were not as dominant as this Gen.G roster is today.
Oh yes.
We are going to Tomb. There's the map pick of Gen.G. First pick will go to Feliz. The Braxis, full Skya bands, standard bands. Let's see what Feliz wants to do, because we already saw intelligent drafting out of Miracle, execution a little bit off. Not as ideal as they would have liked it to be. Well, they came with a good strategy, good plan against Tempest. Didn't end up netting them a win. I think Feliz can take a similar approach.
Yeah, I think this map, it is possible for them because they can actually have the picks that they want. In terms of the reason why they were suffering after all those patches was because Aimer was playing so many Grey main. He actually has a pretty nice win rate compared to how many times they lost. 53% win rate on that Grey main, and you start to see that rise a little bit. I think it's going to be a big help for them later on. And I think, along with him, I think Dudu really needs to drive the bus of the entire squad of Feliz, actually, to take a game off of Gen.G. Already picking up Maiev and Nirel together.
Yeah, the bus driver reference, of course, an older Korean term to describe carrying, basically. Well, we've got the solo laners locked up real tight early on in this game. The ATC coming in as well. The Blaze to counteract a lot of combos that we can see from the Maiev, which is oddly very highly prioritized for Gen.G here, despite the fact that most teams have been moving away from that pick right now. You see the Rhaegar ban, so they can have the support of their choice no matter what. As Malfurion was banned, and Gen.G, again, one of the teams that's banning Malfurion more than anyone else, just to force teams to play with a little bit more depth, especially the first pick teams, which Feliz had first pick in this case. Forces you to be a little bit more committed to your first pick, because Malfurion works with literally any hero. Obviously doesn't counter burst damage, that's the weakness of Malfurion, but otherwise you never feel like, oh god, we can't run this hero because we got Malfurion as our support.
Ben Karazi might as well.
If you do that though, then you're weakening your own support pool. That's a worry, right?
I think Leo can play a little more, and did play Stukov and a few more. Could still be picked from Gen.G, but I think Saka really wants to continue his Karazim, putting some DPS output. There we go.
I mean, the Karazim ban you mentioned is specifically really a big deal for Sake. We're still waiting for Rich's hero, very likely, as the final pick. He could play the Maiev, but...
Or could just be the Hanzo.
Yeah.
Either way, it could be Maiev or Reset playing the Hanzo or Maiev, whichever one that comes out later. And that's one of the strengths in Gen.G. They can just switch back and forth, so flexible in the DPS line. As long as the front are so stable together, which is more than in Irel, less likely for them to actually die in this case.
Yeah, they're very tanky. They've got a lot of self-sustain. Vernon can just rotate out of the fight, get his second wind heal back up. Urel's going to have her auto attacks for healing as well. Big question for Feliz now is, do they really want to try to operate around Warden's Cage? Because that's become so much less meta than the containment disc right now. They do grab the Stukov, though. That is going to be the support of choice. The most meta support left available, but also the ability to counter the...
Ha! And one disconnected.
But,
says reset computer died.
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems like, did you get to see what hero
No.
it was? I think it was locked.
Yeah.
But
so we're probably just gonna have the game reset. But anyway, the Stukov can counter the potential Warden's Cage prison that will be set up there. We're looking for, of course, Rich's hero. Could be the Hanzo. And it could even be the Junkrat. It's an old favorite for Gen.G on this map with the Maiev. Cool drawing here.
Reset just lost. He just lost hundreds of points. He's going down in Hero League, man.
He's in Libra Q now. We'll get that sorted out once the lobby is remade. I think usually you have to go back through draft, but it is possible that we just have a custom game made with all the heroes that are the same picked. But usually we do redo the draft just to have that on record.
Wonder what the final pick was. Didn't really get to even hear or see the final pick of Gen.G.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. It didn't make a sound. It just had the lock-in sound. We didn't hear any voice cues, so
we're back.
So I can't tell you guys. I don't know.
Hanzo?
It happened at the same time. I actually don't remember what the fifth pick was with Stukov. Do you have that written down on yours?
Jaina?
Jaina.
Jaina Stukov. Right. So they
the burst damage.
They do have Blaze as well. So Bunker a little bit nerfed in this case. In this patch, 10 seconds plus on the cooldown, but still very strong. Only 60 seconds now instead of 50. So still a pretty good escape for Jaina. I think it's with the burst onto the Gen.G though. It's Gen.G, and the main problem is actually Karazim early game has stronger output compared to the DPS. Is he a support? I don't know. More of an assassin when Sake plays it somehow. When I play him, I don't really do that much damage. I don't really heal too much, so he's not my favorite support. That's what
you just have to really manage your dashes. I think that's one of the toughest things about Karazim is you always feel compelled to dash all the time whenever you have it on cooldown. But actually, if you don't, if you just walk to targets, I don't know what's going on with my mic.
Yeah, just keep it here. Yeah. I think that's all good.
I know, like.
So I'm imagining myself like Sake. So I dash in, get the kill, dash out.
So like, if you save your cooldown of your Q, your dash,
you get stacks.
Then you basically just end up able to, if you move on your mount or just walk normally towards targets to heal them when it's not an emergency situation, every time you do have the dash, you can double dash in to get a kill. You can come in and cleanse somebody post 16. You could save somebody when you need it. I think one of the arts of Karazim is not dashing non-stop. It's actually just to hold the dash. Hold that. So you have those doubles later on. I think that's kind of like the subtle trick that some of the best Karazims have figured out. And obviously, I think there's no doubt in my mind that at this moment in time, Sake is the best Karazim in the world.
Yeah, he gets a speed boost because he's lacking that hair. I think that gives him the speed boost as well a little bit. That's what the swimmers do. Actually, they shave all the time their leg hair to get like 0.101 second faster. I don't know I don't know exactly know the logics behind it, but it seems like all the swimmers do in the world. The best swimmers in the world always shave their legs all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe that helps a little bit for Karazim.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't
know how long it takes to reset the computer.
I'm just saying. I think that
for my computer only 30 seconds.
Yeah, same. I'm just saying all the Karazim players still have the same model, but I guess some of them have hair, like the one that looks like Wolverine from X-Men. I don't know what it's called.
Oh yes, that one actually has
That's got a lot
plenty
of
hair.
Yeah. And then there's the one that has like the ponytail. Not really a ponytail, but like the, you know what I'm talking about.
Like the hawk in the middle?
Is it the Jade one? I don't know exactly which one it is, but I think there's one that has a hair going down the back.
When you say Jade, I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up any nightmares for you or anything like that.
I'm losing against AIs, man. I'm having bad days.
Wait, why are you playing against AI in Hearthstone?
Because I'm doing some quest, which I didn't complete like months ago.
Oh, you mean the single player stuff?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah, not the beginner against the beginner stuff.
I was like, really? Okay, we're back to where we were. Jaina Stukov, final pick.
Nothing happened, guys. And back final pick. What was it? I think they got to see it, so they can't really change it.
It might have just been that it made a sound when he left the game. Junkrat. Okay, that's what I was predicting earlier. So just an old school Gen.G comp here, one they're very comfortable with. The Karazim Yrel, a bit of an adaptation here. It was usually done with Junkrat as the solo laner, actually, with a different type of DPS in the slot that Yrel occupies now, something like a Li Ming or sometimes even the Gul'dan. But
yeah, with the Junkrat, I think we have a guaranteed cage here. I think they will try to have that combo. And Junkrat is actually really good for delaying all the turn-ins. Plus, you can do damage to the structure from not really getting too close to it. So you don't really have to expose yourself out there. And making it easier for the opponent to gank you. So Junkrat is a very good pick on this map. It is Tomb, by the way.
Yeah, Tomb of the Spider Queen is our opening map for this series. Let's see who is playing the Junkrat, who is playing the Maiev.
So much gold.
Maiev.
Season 2 reward. Yes. Got him.
A lot of money on the line on that one. As you like to say, we're in the money. We'll just get the rewards. You know, when you blow up the core at the end, there's a lot of gold inside, but you don't get to keep any of it.
Look at them. They're stepping on Dignitas.
Well, again, showing respect to the only team that has been able to touch them, like I said earlier. 8-1 on this map. So, in the early game...
What happened to Aimer? That was a weird one. Never mind.
In this early game, I just wanted to mention that Gen.G does not have really hard engage, and they have to play against an ETC. So as you can see, like trying to commit into trades is not very easy, as Sake does just get untouched and do a ton of damage to Dudu there. But just in general, they need to be careful with the Maiev, even though they have Yrel who can rotate in and stun, and engage with her Avenging Wrath. That's tough. However, OJ does end up getting caught by that concussive mine. Perhaps I spoke a little bit too soon on that. Gen.G very punishing as a squad.
And Rich actually dove in after the tether, believing in his bulk that he can dodge the damage, and Feliz, they actually found themselves surprised because Rich came in, thinking, why is he coming in? Is there something crazy going to happen for the next second? So actually they didn't focus him, got no damage, just walked out and got a kill on ETC.
Yeah, the concussive mine there was like the last nail in the coffin. I love how aggressive Sake is being versus Jaina as well. Because in order for Jaina to get a positive trade and to survive, she has to use her abilities actually, because she doesn't have an escape. She has to slow him and try to hit a combo. The second Blizzard Wave is not going to hit. You're only going to get hit by the first one. And then you just, after that, like, you've used your cooldowns, so you're not using them for wave clear. So it's cool to just kind of aggressively poke at the Jaina, make her drop her Blizzard just randomly in the lane to try to survive. But ETC isn't there. But she still has really great wave clear. They're shoving this mid lane now to the towers. See if Gen.G collapses down. With the Maiev coming up now, they might look for OJ again. Who's had some inconsistent performances, shall we say, on the ETC.
His favorite is clearly the Burden.
Dudu gets caught by the mine! He's body blocked! What a play! I can't believe it. We just watched Tist body block and Liu's that as well.
They were actually like all
what
inside their base.
Rich pulled them into the wall there.
And
they got the Jaina with the mine over the wall, knocked him outside his base. Pog champ, G-Clap.
Incredible plays. That's some mechanical practice, and I told you guys many times that they don't even say, okay, I'm gonna pull these guys out so you can continue that with the mine, and so let's make it work, okay, guys? Ready, set, go. No, that is not the call. Rich just says, either I'm going in, or let's do it. Either one of the two, and that kind of thing happens. That's the amount of practice this team has, because they played with each other for such a long time.
Sometimes all it takes is one word.
Go.
That's it. That's exactly what I was going to say. You read my mind. You and I have been working together for a long time, too. We got kids soon.
I know what you're about to say.
Uh-oh, Doo-Doo. Let's get jumped on here. They collapse on him, uses the Blizzard to try to stay alive. Tist should be able to burn him down. Okay, they have the bio kill switch active. Doesn't actually end up needing it. They get the turn in throughout this pressure. Look at Reset's positioning. Could be a mine. Holding it.
Looking for that.
Okay, they trade a kill with the silence there on the Blizzard.
Let's get the kill, and they actually have Stukov for to maintain their power with the HP as well. So not a bad trade. They already have the fort down even before the summon. So they can actually split push, like leave the middle and go all the way bot at the top. But it seems like they want to fight.
Feels bad to lane against Rel in a situation like this with the Web Weaver. You're like, this is just awful. Kocha being very threatening. Tist sets up the play.
One more stack.
He get Avenging Wrath in. Looks like he got slowed by the fort, but I think Knaten's going to die.
Oh.
Here he goes. He activated his trait. And not just out of range. Sake was like, oh, come on, guys. Don't run out on me. I thought we were going to kill him. Gen.G is not messing around. They are not playing with their food. They are going for the kills early on.
They are trying to speedrun this game.
Oh, yeah.
And they were trying to rotate top, thinking that they're actually moving top instead. Socrates just came down. Hanaton was actually He was actually careful enough to maintain and survive because he's holding 21 gems by himself. He was down on the bottom lane the entire game. So it's important for them to actually keep him alive. Same for Aimer, holding 24.
Really good movement there by OJ to make sure he didn't get grabbed by the tether, or he would have been pulled in and things could have gotten really bad for the big rotation here for Gen.G. So because he does survive, they catch up a little bit on experience because Blaze was soaking bottom below.
OJ dives with the power slide so he can't escape. Within the back line,
misses the mine.
Liu is getting punished. Sake finds the kill onto Stukov, so no heal for OJ.
Everyone's very low on the side of Gen.G, but they don't want to give this up just yet. Not's going to get blown up here. Aimer is going to be the next target. Can Tist survive? He's got the armor. He's killed, sniped there by Jaina.
Kocha almost saved him by pushing Aimer to the side. That will be a trade with Tutu.
Disc used. They want this. Here we go. Committing in. Seven-sided does not connect.
Only one-sided.
Still getting very low. There's the Avenging Wrath. OJ's like, please give me those ships.
How many jams? Almost 30?
64 on one person, yeah. Wow.
We've seen those games with 100 plus. So many gems, but if you can't really turn in, if you have all the money, can't spend it, then what do you have the money for?
Yeah.
There's no interest in this game.
No.
You can't really go into stocks.
You're not buying bonds. You're not. These kids. These guys don't have kids going to college in a few years. You know. They're not really worried about like you know, their careers like losing value. You know, they're not like the newspaper companies that are like trying to transition online. Like, well, I have savings. Okay. Double Web Weaver now for Gen.G. No 10 yet for Feliz. They have to play passive. It's really good Frostbolt there by Aimer's. Been having a pretty solid day overall. He's been pressured, not Aimer rather, my bad.
Dudu.
He's been pretty pressured all game long.
But
and he's actually kept himself alive decently well, and he's traded a few kills. So impressive on the Jaina. They have their 10s now.
Yeah, compared to how he was playing before, he was getting caught so many times on Jaina. Not really used to playing mages as his new role in this team as a DPS.
Well, Gen.G's got this keep wall down. OJ's caught, 7-sided. Actually absorbed a little bit there by Hnatten. Well played. Silence making this very frustrating to approach for Gen.G. Aimer gets caught though by the stun. Does warp out. Top port goes down meanwhile. They should be able to save this keep though, unless Gen.G can make a snap decision here to make a play.
It's only 8 minutes in. One bar Hampton going in, dive in. Look at see test. Looking to turn around, focusing on Liu.
Liu is hit. Containment disc goes up here onto ETC's no peel. Good swipes there coming out though from Stukov. He does end up getting killed. The bunker expires. Kyocha once more. Mending Wrath in. The Webweavers will finally go down in top and bottom, but this fight isn't over yet. 7-sided, not up for Sake. It's the double dash. Hnatten is very low, but he will get out. Ooh, Rich says otherwise.
The rest of the damage from Fan. And that continues to go in onto multiple targets, and he can just swipe all over, press QQ again and again.
Bot keep goes down. Top keep still alive at about 1/3 health.
Even though Feliz actually did so well to peel for his back line, for their back line to save their own teammates so many times, Gen.G just breaking into those tiny windows and getting a kill.
End up grabbing the second keep here.
2 keeps. 931.
7-sided, Hnatten stepped over the line. Does get the charge out. Sake is in there. He drops the bunker.
Silence saves the team.
Triple mosh.
Oh,
containment. Disc there. Very, very well played to help them escape. But they want more. They're not trying to leave. They're trying to get more kills. They want to end the game here at sub 10 minutes. They're 4 levels up. They can't quite do it. Zambra's on cleanup duty up here. Does prevent the death of the keep for now. It's not long for this world, though, if Gen.G decide to commit further. Making a boss play.
Do you actually like the teamwork from Feliz, where they actually try to save their teammate all the time? Does end up with least amount of kill compared to what could have happened against this big of a level lead already. And I think maybe switching into Hnatten, what he has been doing is a lot of plays, but he actually does a lot better with his Zero 2 play once he can actually make those flashy movements by himself. I think he can actually excel in that moment. And I thought it was possible to bring it on this map to poke out. Have the great DPs with the Jaina.
Yeah, there could have been, you know, Ring of Frost combo potentially. You have a lot of damage that way. Gen.G gets the boss here pretty aggressively. As meanwhile, just wants to kill OJ solo. Nice face melt there. Should be fine.
And
the boss is on the core now, man.
Oh, yeah. And OJ is actually having one of his, playing pretty well. Keeping his team alive. Not really, ooh, big damage, not really following. But before they go in, Dudu goes down.
He jumps in, gets the kill, 7-sided to make sure that he is going to be invulnerable. It's going to be a big salvo, but there's not any follow-up damage. There's the kill onto Hnatten. There's a tug onto OJ.
Jet Propulsion actually missed. They evaded all that. And
look at this! OJ doesn't get back.
He can't even go back home.
He was disked before he could get into the base. The core goes down, but it feels like that's the least significant thing that we just saw. Gen.G is like 1 down, 2 to go. Reset cracks a smile, but everyone else cracks their knuckles. As it's going to be a short night. That's what Gen.G says after that first map. There were a few good defensive moments, like you said, but perhaps putting Hnatten on a hero where he can try to make bigger individual plays could be a way to approach this. But otherwise, they were just mechanically outclassed from the beginning to the end. With a draft that's so Gen.G, so much big play potential with the Junkrat, the Maiev, and then you've got on top of that, Kyocha's running the top tier URL right now, and Sake is on his favorite hero, the Karazim. He is, this season, on the Carziem, I want to look it up.
How many
He's
kills?
now 4-0.
Of course, they have 100% win rate.
He has 20 kills. 20 kills and 8 deaths.